I can't learn more. Well, okay, here we go. So let's see. I decided before I head on over to TikTok to allow myself to do a little live for our Inspiring Human Potential YouTube collective and viewers. And if you are part of the subscribers, then you're going to have noticed we got 2 shorts released so far. And we are talking about way showing in the 5D collective. And actually, what we are going to continue with today, as I get ready to set us up for a conversation, will be about how the first wave to reach 5D has been here for a while. Welcome, future humans, because we know people who are securely attached, healthy self-worth, they're self-led, and they are actually in this moment in time in a body and connection using an integrated brain. And so that's what I'm going to continue also chatting about on TikTok Live, because yesterday I left them kind of hanging because I was in a rush, and I have a lovely story that if you are a YouTube subscriber, you've seen or heard, not seen, but you've seen me. And instead, if you're a listener, you probably wouldn't be here anyways. Okay, so way showing, just in case you didn't catch the shorts, means showing others the way by simply awakening to living your truth. And it is simple for a self-led, securely attached, non-traumatized person. Why non-traumatized? Because I self-regulate in the absence of you, because my nervous system knows how to be in its ventral vagal state. So while wisdom, the word of wisdom, it is said that it diffuses conflict and provides clarity, I know that really the people need to understand and integrate the knowledge in order for them to retain it. So I can support a situation, right? I can come in as a healthy, self-worth human being who in fact shows the way of true love, not the fake kind. Fake love are the self-righteous energy people who ignore that they still have childhood trauma unhealed. So they will talk to you about everything trauma related, but then you'll see that they're an adaptive child part because they're still vulnerable in a way of their emotions. They don't own the gut. They don't own the heart. They don't own the mind. So they're in fact not in alignment with a brain, body, mind that is integrated and in a connection. It's actually in the protection. And so they're using their amygdala, alert, 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 and the amygdala doesn't really help you to be the best version of you. It does help you to be, like Robert Sapolsky would say, determined based on those first 3 years of life, which is why when I see the 0-8-year-olds, and as I said in our short, Lucifer, nowhere to be found, and even if you wanted to talk about it, shame is a low frequency. Fear is a low frequency. So people who are insecure, you'll see they're like Diego's family from Ice Age. And therefore, I don't look at it as, oh my God, we're such in threat. No, basically, they don't win because, again, one, God wins. I'm a mystic and I'm a faith. I know God, Jesus, Holy Spirit in my own subjective life. You have heard about the book. I'm a co-author of The Ways to God, my chapter. God is discerning, equanimous love. Any smart human being, meaning stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable, not mediocre. So intelligent minds, they know exactly how to wield their implicit, explicit memory and their biases and not project them. On the other hand, self-righteous mystics, spiritual and mindful, not living, loving people who are their adaptive child version think they know everything. I just wanted to be a world where it's not about what feels right, what is right. You're all feelings, dude. And wow, like really cynicism, like the frequency. It's, again, pitiful because you can get help for it now. And so the first wave to reach 5D has been here for a while. While 4D, 3D, I was told they would stick around. I was like, yeah, but they have brains like I do. They can get better. They don't understand the knowledge because shame works that way. And when you don't take care of yourself because you feel that you're deserving to be in a healthy, self-soothing lifestyle, Dr. Amy Apigian, she's great. She shares why some people, even after years of therapy, are still working to get into shifting in their ventral vagal state, and how the body actually can sometimes after therapy sessions get sick. So she's amazing, the Biology of Trauma podcast, because she's like, yeah, it takes time. So people who are healing, they are very much, what's the word? They're respecting their body, they're respecting their child parts, they're honoring themselves, they're honoring the piece of life, meaning the person they are. And that is why, again, when I hear 4D saying, oh, here we have another waiting for the shining light to come, as this is where I know as a mystic our ascension and where we're at. And so I hear them saying the same things over and over again, which is what we're going to talk about on TikTok as well. And it's every time some new wave of light comes in, and And yes, people can ascend, but they don't ascend to anything if they're carrying the baton of contempt and self-righteousness from their childhood stuff, because their 0 8-year-old was not tended to by the human being who owns the body. And they're projecting their unkindness and they're upset at humanity and using Lucifer's name and Evel Knievel Medieval, which is really not wise, not needed, but adaptive child part people live a movie because they live pseudo-aliveness. They live and they actually have the joy of the shared fantasy, the up and down. So their brain is completely hooked into it. And their brain will make up some excuse for why it's okay, versus here, the explanation of what shame is, what a body in, again, connection feels like, and they will ignore the signs that they're living out a life that is half of what they could. So at the end of the day, again, the first wave has been here, 5D collective, our future humans, again, future because they don't know we're here. They know the difference between disciples and spiritual masters or enlightened ones and gurus, because again, this is very straightforward. Anyone who is enlightened, a guru, a prophet, or anybody who wants to talk to me about wisdom, they need to know how to harness their own anger, sadness, fear. If they're whining about it like a Zen master, I have laundry. Wow, you just think enlightenment doesn't exist because you don't know how to wield your body yet, and you didn't take seriously Dr. Amy Pigeon, but you did go get yourself a title of the Zen master. So he is a way shower, yes, of shame, not of love. So we got plenty of way showers, and they think that speaking their truth means that they know the truth. The truth would be that they would take note. Am I a person who knows how to forgive? Am I a person who knows that narratives are not strong, meaning blah, 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 blah. Words are just words. But that doesn't make me think the moon landing didn't exist. So people in the rabbit hole, yesterday was Moon Day, and it's in honor of the moon landing. And that made me think of the people who are like, nope, no moon. Oh, sure, the earth is flat, right? And apparently we're living in a giant hole. So you can definitely go down a rabbit hole. It's not funny, though. As a person who knows what mediocrity looks like, I just think of the teenage people that I met when I was a teenager. And then with attachment trauma education, I'm like, yes, Terrio, they're all adaptive child part people. They're making sense of themselves like I am. Difference is they're completely ignoring the signs that their pent-up self-righteous energy is small, that they don't know everything. And pseudo intellectuals are the ones that I make fun of the most, because I'm like, wow, you got so blinded by your ego that you think you know everything. My colleagues are all against me, but you didn't notice that you're like, oh, my colleagues. So you wanted all your colleagues to take your side and tell you, you're right, you're right. And look, there's your 3-year-old. I'm so sorry, I didn't pay enough attention to you. In fact, here's where, let me grab a quote. Where is that quote? This is why narratives, they're not strong for actual spiritual masters, enlightened ones, or anybody who is intelligent, secularly speaking, who doesn't have to believe in God or gurus. No, but okay, story, blah, 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 blah. If you have actual lack of power over your own self, which is something that the first 3 years of your life will decide, and you're leading with shame, you're going to look for a master, which is why I talked about the Jungle Boy, the Jungle Book with the monkey. Yeah, walk like me, talk like me. So when someone's speaking wisdom, sure, they can diffuse a situation. You're going to notice if they actually understand it, if they embody it, because it's not one day that you go in and diffuse. It's 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And then we keep on doing it. And you know, the ones who do it, they're the exactly ones who don't. It's important to find people who make you realize there's nothing wrong with being you, being who you are. If you don't know how to love yourself first and then to bring forth the best of you, that's very straightforward. As a teenager, I'm like, yeah, I know what I am, like everybody else different. Why are they all standing together with the same exact character traits and then saying they want to be different? They want to be their own unique self. So uniqueness is not about what we look like necessarily, but it is about being able to feel good even when you're crooked. Like Terrio talks about self-acceptance. It means that I'm a human being, grown-up, functional adult. He calls it, I'm a functional child adult. Somebody can say, you're a nasty bitch, Marina. I'll be like, I didn't do it on purpose, but I think I'll leave now. Because you don't get in people's faces. In fact, I've had people get in my faces, as you know the stories, if you're regulars. What did they do? They made it decent enough to be saluted. 3 consistent years, I simply did not engage with the person. That's all. So for 3 consistent years, I've stayed a stranger. I've stayed a stranger to a human being who has unhealthy self-worth. We don't know his wife. He's a published poet. And apparently, he doesn't know how to handle himself when he's being rejected by someone else. Me, no. But did I treat him like shit? No, because that's why a functional child adult knows how to handle their body. Also because I don't need to get in their face. They're really sad. As a grown man, do you think I taught him something? No, because again, I can show you the way to love. If you decided that you're going to lead with shame and self-righteous, low energy, at least you looked at me, which is not passive-aggressive to an empowered person. That's why I don't really give a shit. I'm just like, well, at least he got it off his chest. I'm happy for him. That way he can sleep at night. And apparently 3 consistent years of, I don't want to be your friend, meant, no, he was just reacting to his bad emotions, projecting it and making someone else out to be the person they decided to pick on for rejection that I had nothing to do with. It's not fun. It's not insulting. It's humorous, to say the least, from a self-empowerment talk that we're having right now, because, again, I didn't think I'd grow up to meet so many insecure grown-ups. Now I know the attachment trauma education. They're all in their little self-righteous energy, which isn't anything compared to what they could be if they mastered anger, which is our first series in our lovely paid subscriber and free content. The 3-minute are free. The 15-minute are mindful exercises where you get to walk through anger and thoughts with ideas to integrate them in your daily mindful mindset practices, because we're always living life. And mastering your emotional plane, it's amazing, because mastering anger and then being able to be, I'm not a Buddhist, I'm a Christian Catholic, angry Buddhist from somatic therapist. I learned that. I'm like, that's just person being able to be in their prefrontal cortex. Robert Sapolsky, thank you for your book, man. I mean, it's great that we know some people will stay determined in shame. That's why, again, the way showers, there's one of 2 kinds. Also, as a mystic who does know God, God always wins one. And then I also know Akash and Source and Anima Mundi and intelligence. And it always expands consciousness. It's split up into 2. So do we really think we're going to have one note? No, we got free will, at least for the spiritual ones of us. That's, again, with the knowledge of what people can do with their bodies now, because the recent 20 years or however long are trauma attachment educators. They've all been doing research or continuing it. So when someone isolates themselves into their little group, they're against modern day therapists and they're just using words, and then they're calling people like me evil, bitch, witch, whatever. Sure, keep talking. It sounds really fascinating where you have no idea. I got people telling me neuroscience, ha ha ha, everyone has something to believe in. Okay, and I see people saying neuroscience is pseudoscience. I'm like, no, I'm woo-woo pseudoscience. The neuroscientists are not woo-woo pseudoscience. They actually know what the fuck they're talking about. But hey, you know what? You want to stay uneducated, go hang out with the people who don't take their children to hospitals. That's not fun. They think that they believe more in God than we do because they're ignoring science. My catechist, my Catholic Christian catechist, didn't tell me be ignorant, and they also didn't tell me that God was a monster, and they also didn't make it sound like I had to do something specific. You know, I really am sad for the entire community of people who will not hear how the Dalai Lama said, okay, religious figures, we're all here wanting people to be compassionate. So the ones who are in the straitjacket of their logical brain, the left mode alone, yes, they're not actually intelligent, mediocre, shame. Shame on them, and shame on people who don't understand that they can become an integrated brain with the good help of the therapists that are out there. And then body and connection, here we go. So you come back for more self-empowerment, personal development exercises for the paid free subscribers, chit chat on being self-led. So showing the way, like I said, I already accepted defeat a long time ago. Fear, which is shame, because it's not easy to heal trauma, and people sometimes won't want to, because that's how ignorance works. And I don't think I'm going to put any ignorant people on a pedestal. In fact, just FYI, Lucifer's defeated. He doesn't exist. As a mystic, I'm planning consistently to let everyone know shame doesn't have any place in human future, because we know how to use our bodies now. And because the science has proved it. The minute I found out, I'm like, hey, God, so we're not needed, but I really do want to stay here. So can you make sure that I live a long life? And I'll be back in the future, by the way. I know my future husband. Yeah, it's fun. As an Akashic record reader, it's really fun. I also astral travel, and I've been around for a while when it comes to the lifetimes and lifetimes and lifetimes, and it's always fun. In fact, this is one of my favorite lifetimes. But of course, I don't know all the other ones from the future. I just know one of them, which is when I get off the planet Earth. So it's okay. I know some people, they really are hooked on their drama, and they like to be all in their sensational stuff. Fascinating what interesting, not interesting things the 4D, 3D community are still looking into. I was told that they would stick around. So as we close on out, thank you to a lovely YouTube Live. Let me read to you, Sadhguru, always do the best you can for whoever is around you, because tomorrow either they may be gone or you may be gone. And you know what's sad is that people who don't realize that it's right on their fingertips to be able to go and get out of a low frequency of self-righteous energy, to honor their inner child, become a functional child adult, to honor being a human, to honor God for those who actually do understand God, Akash Source, is not owned by any one book, and that people who are only using left, they can't handle that science and spirituality touch. I got a dude, excuse me, you're confusing science spirituality. No, I bring them together. I bring human, spiritual, spirituality elements together. I'm a podcast host, content creator, mentor for personal development. I'm a mystic. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a Akashic record reader, tarot oracle guide, channeler, downloader. No, because I'm a mystic too. Okay, I'm having fun, by the way, every time I meet any of my adoptive child brothers and sisters, because again, they're showing the way to shame and ignorance. So I'm not going to shame them like the dude. I didn't shame him. Why would I shame anyone? That just sounds really disrespectful. It feels wrong, because that's what clear consciousness of a functional child adult will know. I don't want to hurt my brother or sister. It doesn't matter if you're not related. I'm not going to be mean to you. I'm going to choose kindness because I know how to do it. I regulated my nervous system, keep my heart open. I didn't meet an idiot. No, I did meet an idiot. My point is I don't have to treat someone like shit. The people who treat each other like shit are the self-righteous energy of low frequency that don't want to master their anger like grown-ups. So when I see a little tantrum, I don't do, oh, wow, the man gave me the best advice. Did you say it right, Maria? Okay, you know what? How about this? I gave him the cold shoulder as a bitch, and he still put me through a whole evening. We're at the end of the evening. I'm like, look, dude, because he's saying, we'll become friends. No, my body immediately is like, nope. And I was like, no, we won't become friends. Do we frequent the same place? Yes, we do. We will talk. No, we won't talk. We will become, I forget if he said, get into interesting conversation. I'm like, nope. We will see each other. Yes, we will. But that is all. You put up barriers. No, just telling you how it is. Your body will move with you when you're aligned. And you don't lie. I'm like a child. I can't lie. But I'm a child that didn't get fear-mongered. That's why. And I got to do all my angry little tidbit, which still comes up with my mom, my trauma time, my 3-year-old. I'm not joking. No. And so when you understand that those child parts live through you, and then you say, okay, cool, I get to master anger like a grown-up. Ooh, I'm going to have fun with it. So we have fun with it. And the ones who don't, they think they can be the only ones who tell you about God and Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and Akash and Source. One thing before you go, all of those who are here, and some, at least a couple have stuck around, spiritual masters, gurus, prophets, anyone who wants to talk to you about Akash Source, expansion, ascension, if they're claiming to be the only way, or only a certain group is going to connect you, they're still divisive, okay? So the low frequency, that's why I'm saying evil. If I look at it, it's Michael Stone. We have a forensic criminologist. He's got a 1 to 22 scale. They all end up in prison. The 7 to 14, not charming to smart brain. They're buffoons to a smart brain. It's like, wow, okay, sure, you're not going to go anywhere because I know what our human species does. It evolves. Our human species does not defeat itself because no life form defeats itself. And those who don't trust their own body and their own species are the ones who got their faith broken with humanity, not the other way around. And when you do know God, Akash Source, intelligence, if you're an enlightened one, you're going to be like, it's all okay. And that's why people say, you're not afraid, God's good, he's winning. You think that the fallen angels anywhere, and again, stop using stories to dehumanize people. It's not nice when we have data that proves no demon possesses anyone. There's fragmented states of self, there's bodies that were hurt, there's children who get sold. So when someone wants to bring to me that they're going to cast a stone, you ain't talking about God, you're talking about your self-righteous energy, and you're talking about your own childhood, and you didn't save yourself yet because you didn't go to therapy. So when you don't learn how to shift out of the body in protection, the body gets tired out. So they're doing themselves a disservice. And like this dude, he thinks he taught me common courtesy. At least you looked at me. He didn't question, did I behave like an asshole? Maybe my adaptive child part behaviors. He probably doesn't even know the words, or even if he did, no, everybody's making such a big deal about trauma. Yeah, we use the word a lot. Trauma charges means you're emotionally immature. That's when you meet emotionally immature people, they're the ones who follow 7 to 14 charming because they give them the dogma. Oh, my scientists are right. Look, my scientists are right. Oh, look, let's fight about it. And oh, look, there's a superhero, supervillain journey. There's still evil that might win. I know that they've made. There's a book. Someone's read these books before, and based on these books, they're doing this is where we're at right now. And I know one of them talks about Judgment Day, and I'm like, zero out. Just they don't know what Dharma is. They don't know how to use their prefrontal cortex. Okay, so what is being able to be in your prefrontal cortex? It's being able to you process thinking and feeling and not fall for effective realism, which is your strong feelings are not irrefutable facts. Intelligent minds know how to wield their prefrontal, which is why Robert Sapolsky's book Determined, even though I do believe you have free will, he's pretty spot on. And if people don't want to go and get their inner child brought to life with us, they will live out their karma, which is okay. But the whole bringing our ancient textbooks to make people feel like it's Judgment Day in the way of the books. These are individuals who are adaptive child living in a fantasy land with pseudo-aliveness. They have a shared fantasy. They get off on reward in a way that is of a 14-month-old brain. They're 3-year-olds, so I mean, I'm not looking at that like, wow, you're going to do amazing. No, their body can spot that which is dangerous, but it doesn't know how to do social time. Isolation is not going to lead you to more. We got people who don't take their children to hospitals because they think that means they believe more in God than someone like me, and that I'm a bad one because I have knowledge, which also makes me think about those who bring forth conspiracies. I have a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's in international relations and diplomacy. I find it buffoonery, and I don't talk about it on purpose, because I did think of the word leader and leaders. Today I know we got good leaders, and then we got shame on them leaders. And the shame on them, they don't think they are. In fact, they're always in their brilliant, not brilliant mind and destructive mode. It's adaptive child part people. They're self-preserving. They don't learn new skills, which is why they're a species that is meaning. The minute you don't know how to use your brain, you're going to simply do the self-preserving. Who is this? Hi Umberto. That's a friend of mine. Hi Umberto. So as I conclude, I'm going to TikTok, Umberto. You can come follow me there. Now I lost my train of thought. Hi Federica. Oh, you guys are so cute. Hello, I don't have a moderator, but thank you for stopping by. I don't know if you were here before, Federica. We were just chit-chatting about how the way showers are here already of the 5D collective, and how we have the fearful ones who are of shame, who don't want to get out of their trauma stuff, and how there's no battle going on because Lucifer doesn't win, evil doesn't win, and that we have a forensic criminologist who talks about evil. No, he gives us a scale. So we are right now, thanks to scientists, able to continue expanding. Our own species is consistently evolving. And we don't have reptilians as an external species. It's just people who want to use their protective mode. Oh, and by the way, I do honor all people who are healing. I still honor the child in every person that is not going to heal, which is why we don't want to dehumanize or insult them. Because again, it's not a choice to have first 3 years of life, or however it went down, it doesn't matter. Science explains that which a person is. And so when someone wants to tell me neuroscience is pseudoscience, no, I'm pseudoscience. You don't want to believe in it, you don't have to. But creating an excuse for why you want to demonize and be angry and in an ill-placed anger for your brothers and sisters having shit that didn't. When I've heard stories of 3-year-olds getting sold, it's not funny. And I'm not going to say why, because it's sad. So I feel sad every time I think that there are those who want to carry on the baton of self-righteous, low-frequency energy. And when they want to talk to you about God, Jesus, Holy Spirit, or spiritual masters, or anything, gurus, and they don't know how to, one, bring forth diffusing, but then bring forth understanding, and then bring forth the unconditional love, the discerning, wise, good judgment, equanimity, calm-centeredness, love that God is in the chapter that I write in the book, The Ways to God. That's what an intelligent being is. It's not a fear-mongering with the traits of that which is anger that is not mastered by human beings who had their faith in humanity broken. And, we do need our sympathetic nervous system. So it's not a bad thing to have fear or anger. No, it saves us from the animals that are stronger than us. Dark matter, dark energy, don't implode. So science supports humanity. The ones who see it as evil, they don't like science and spirituality coming together. They're the left-brainers who have a straitjacket, because the left actually, one, it's the verbal part, doesn't like that A and B are touching each other, and then they don't have access to their right, which is why the traumatized word, well, I do. So it's non-traumatized because I have access to my emotional brain. And when your default mode network is downregulated, because you got a body in connection, my security system is not on. I don't need it. I only will need it when I'm in physical danger, which fingers crossed I won't have. So Again, it's not a person that's immature. I'm going to do it enough. I didn't get reactive because there's nothing to react to. And when I see those who are actually buffoons right now, I'm like, well, anybody remember how Rome ended? They didn't realize that they were ending, right? Because that's what blind egos, destructive mode people are half-brained. They don't know what's happening. They actually want the past to keep being here. And so that's like the last grasp of something that is, that's, anyways, enough philosophizing right now. Let's see, now I lost you. A truly intelligent mind is a mind that, again, knows itself, implicit, explicit memory, my biases. I try to talk to you about it. I get to be a person who presents, well, okay, if we have differences, political, religious, I'm just going to say, let's not talk about it, because obviously if we can't stay at ease with it and adapt the child part, don't. The people that are with their self-righteous energy who are passing on these batons of trauma. You're wanting me not to feel. No, you can feel. You just could use the body in connection with feeling. You can practice bringing your alert, the amygdala, this is the hand model. You bring your prefrontal down and there's an integrated brain. So when people decide to be mindfully listening to themselves, mindfully listening to others, that's where the communication skills with mindful mindset are supportive. You think and feel and you become self-aware. And then in awareness, maximum uncertainty, you don't get uncomfortable. Or even if you do get uncomfortable, you go, well, I have human secondary consciousness and I got emotions coming up. And then you go into kind intention. And those are the 3 pillars of mindfulness practices, which I integrate with our inner growth mindset. And with Dr. Daniel Siegel and mindsight skills, I know all about the mindsight lens, which means I can sift sensations, images, feelings, thoughts, like you can, of the sense of self of you, because you're whole. So again, the future humans and the way showers are here, the ones who will do it for love. We already know who they are. They know how to share with us very beautiful pieces of data. They give us answers to our brothers and sisters that are basically living in hell in their bodies, and we don't need to pick on them, because guess what? I found out from somatic therapists, all of human beings' bodies are leading themselves back home, because your true biology knows its optimized version. So guess who's the morons who think they know everything? The left brain people are, and the modern day therapists, they're trying to imprison you. No, they're just giving you a way to become an emotionally mature person. You don't have to choose it. You can stay in your 0-8-year-old and call it whatever you want. And you can continue to think that you're a special group. That's why, again, 3D, 4D. Some people, they just want pats on the back like the flat earthers. And they hang out and they have fun. And we leave them alone. And then we go vote and do other things and continue to build our future. Hopefully, dark matter, dark energy. It will, not implode. And in the meantime, thanks for stopping by, everyone. It was a pleasure to be here on YouTube. I am going to be moving over to TikTok after a couple of episodes that I will be releasing. So you can join Inspiring Human Potential on TikTok for the live. And if you subscribe, then you'll be, I think, notified. And in the meantime, you can also subscribe to the YouTube channel. The paid or free subscriber link is in the description. The paid, and obviously the free is you. Thanks for the like. You can find me on YouTube. Just subscribe. I don't like doing all this stuff, but anyways, I will have more announcements. And if you do look for mentorship, one-to-one, I offer that. You email workshops, email for that. And there is a workshop or retreat, actually, I should say, that I'm starting to plan. That's, though, in the location of Italy. So it will involve the inner growth mindset, mindful communication skills, but it'll be an activity in group format. And then on the second day, there will be tarot that I will use to support for personal development, because that's how I use it. So whatever the person is getting to deal with, if you will, the most important part, and give that consult. And so it's a 2-day retreat. And if you are wanting more information, email me about that. My email is in the YouTube section, and you find me on Instagram and TikTok, Facebook, even though Facebook I don't use as much. So if any of you are interested, again, for the masterclass, sign up. And again, paid subscriber is on Spotify for podcasters. The link is in not this description box, or no, I think I did actually. Anyways, I'm going to go now. Otherwise, I'm going to keep rambling. Thank you, everyone, for stopping by. I'll see you again some other time.